When thinking of the 1920s, A. Mitchell Palmer may not be the first person who comes to mind. He was born into a Quaker family in the late 1800s and grew to be a political figure commonly known for his Palmer raids. Palmer started off as a lawyer but quickly grew more popular amongst Americans. He supported the Democratic Party most of his life, mainly helping Woodrow Wilson into office. Wilson, quickly realizing Palmer's efforts and support, invited him to serve as Secretary of War. Growing up in the household he did, he declined the offer. Wilson then appointed him Attorney General, and Palmer began his infamous Palmer raids. He deported over 4,000 suspected communists or Reds back to Russia and the Soviet Union, launching America into the Red Scare, or fear that communists would overthrow the government. His beliefs were consistent. He lived his personal life the same way he displayed his views to the public. Although many people followed him at first, he was later frowned upon for violating civil liberties. Although Palmer was not famous for music or dance like many in the 20s, he certainly impacted the lives of those around him. He was important not only as Attorney General, but for starting the Red Scare. He had many radical ideas and changes that impacted the lives of many. He shared his views and launched the Red Scare, which often turned Americans against each other. One theme his work could fall under was from Europe to America because he was trying to keep immigrants out and reduce the amount of Reds in the U.S. He also was an example of private life is public life because he shared his personal views with the public and created change. Palmer was a prime example of fear of the future. He worked to keep the government the same and worked to avoid an overthrowing of the government. This would later become prevalent again when World War II started and the fear of traitors and communism was reborn. He had a way of scaring the public, saying that if no actions were taken, the government would be overthrown. After influencing many, he ran for presidency but lost. Afterward, he left the Attorney General office and began to work again at his private law practice. He continued to support the other Democratic parties, but did nothing radical after leaving his position. He died in May of 1936. He relates to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is banning immigrants from this country, looking for better lives because of where they came from and their religion, similarly to Palmer. I would not be friends with A. Mitchell Palmer. I believe that everyone should be treated equally no matter the color of your skin, where you came from, your religion, your sexuality, and many other qualities that make humans human. The way a person is treated should have nothing to do with how they look or where they came from. He threw many innocent people looking for better lives out of this country due to the aforementioned conditions, which makes me not want to be friends with him. A. Mitchell Palmer created radical change that affected the lives of many Americans and immigrants alike.